Tonight I'm going to be chatting to you guys about shame. Just going to go into some details about what shame is and how we can stay so badly stuck in it. And then, as ever, the ideals behind these videos are to give you insights into how you can change and start making some differences. So what is shame? And I think the biggest key here is recognizing what it means to you. One of the biggest things that I'm finding as I'm doing these videos is that there's so much amazing information out there. It's quite challenging to succinct it all so I can share with you as much as I feel that's going to be useful in a short period of time. When I'm working with somebody, the most important thing is getting a sense of what it means to them. So right now, you're here for whatever reason, whether you want to find out about shame, whether you're curious as to how the mind works, or maybe you've got nothing else better to do. Doesn't matter what it is. Just for this precise moment, have a think about what shame means for you. And what feelings are coming up for you with it. The biggest difference between guilt and shame, and guilt was something I chatted about last week. Guilt is a behaviour and an action that we have, something we've done, said, something that's caused hurt, harm or injury. It's more tangible. Shame is very much an identity. It's something that we are. We are ashamed. You should be ashamed of yourself. Shame on you. Shame is a deep-seated identity. Okay, so this means that it's pretty much all-encompassing and it's very much self-focused. So the moment when we're doing shame, we're kind of viewing our whole selves and our whole being through a pair of dull, dirty glasses. So our conscious awareness of ourself is very negative and it's very unpleasant. And quite often it boils down to people feeling like they've got low self-worth. They're not good enough. They've got a big dislike of themselves. When you checked in with the word and you gave yourself a moment just to recognise what it means, what came up for you? What did it mean for you? And this shame is something that can really interrupt with people's lives. When there's a feeling of not good enough, not worth enough, low self-esteem, unlovable, when these are present, it can really impact on someone's ability to go forth and do things. By this I mean it causes us to stumble and falter and stop. If ever you're in a situation where you're about to go and do something that you want to do, but all of a sudden you just get a bit of, God, what if I mess up? What if I don't do it right? You know, imagine somebody at work, wanting to go into the boardroom, into a meeting. They want to discuss what they've got on their mind. They want to have some input, share some insights. And just before they open that door, they kind of pause and think, oh my God, what if I'm not smart enough? Or I'm not good enough? All these kind of fears come up when someone is in shame. And can you get a sense of how just faltering for a moment and these things coming up can stop that person from moving forward, from going into that meeting and having the opportunity to learn, to gain, to explore? So it can be so limiting. And when someone has got these feelings of low self-worth and low self-esteem and unlovable, it can create sort of feelings of unease, and so often this can be a big culprit of depression, anxiety, insomnia. Insomnia often comes about through depression and anxiety. Addictions, fears, phobias, all these sort of things come about and are impacted because of shame. Because remember, shame is something that's what we call an identity. And this is one of the key points. An identity is a real bugger at times. It can keep us firmly stuck. Our beautiful mind has got an amazing filter mechanism in place. Every single second, we're being bombarded or exposed to billions and billions of pieces of information.
Our body sends 11 million bits of information per second to the brain for processing, yet our conscious mind is only able to process 50 bits per second.
Okay, so we are filtering down from 11 million pieces of information to 50 pieces of information per second. I mean, that's just nuts. And what is the key to this? Why is this even relevant? So the way that our mind works is that it supports our identities. Any information that we're exposed to, our subconscious mind is only going to support, seek and find and share with your conscious mind the information that will support your identities, your beliefs and your values. Okay, so whenever anybody is putting an I am in front of a problem, like I am stupid, I am worthless, I am ashamed, it's what we call an identity. And at this moment, I know from a professional point of view when working with somebody that they are only going to be seeing evidence to prove this and maintain it. Does this give you a bit of a sense of how people can stay so stuck in problems? Because if our mind is only allowing information in that's supporting what we believe and what we know and what we are, then how the bloody hell do we get out of it? So this is when becoming conscious, the moment of becoming conscious about how we function, can actually serve as a platform for interruption. Because the moment you are aware of this, aware of the fact that an identity, an I am, is being maintained by your mind, the moment you clock into the fact that you're doing an identity, just that recognition and that conscious awareness can interrupt the pattern. So anything that allows you just to realise what you're doing, well, you can't be it if you realise what you're doing. Does that make a bit of sense? Last week I touched on mantras and the ability that they have to flush through the system. And they're quite key with people changing their identities. Going from perhaps a belief, a knowing, an identity of I am not good enough when you're ashamed, to how about changing it to I am good enough? And the thing with mantras is you have got to know it. It's not about just saying it half-heartedly. It is saying it so you know it. Because again, this interrupts the chemistry. This flushes your system with new neurology. And because I have to admit, I am all good for thinking about, right, my new mantras, what they're going to be, going to say it. Kind of I forget what I'm doing. And when I'm putting together these videos, I'm thinking, well, I want to bring information in that is relevant, stuff that I have been helped with and has made a difference for me. And I'm recognising all these different ways, and there's wonderful tools out there, but I kind of like a quick fix. I'm impatient and I want a difference now. And this is where the beautiful world of hypnotherapy can come in. Because it's kind of a shortcut way to tap into your subconscious mind to help bring about changes. So if your subconscious mind is just supporting and maintaining the belief that you're not good enough, that you're ashamed, well then during a restful time in hypnosis we can feed in information and allow the new identities, I am good enough, I am lovable, I do deserve it. We can allow your beautiful mind to upgrade quickly. And another amazing thing about our minds is that we always go for an upgrade. When we learn about how the mind works and the structure and function behind it all, once we become conscious and aware of this, we can't unknow it. So we're always seeking an upgrade. And throughout hypnosis, and whether you guys do self-hypnosis, you can listen to my audios if any of them appeal. You can go online and find all sorts. Or having somebody on a one-on-one session can mean you're absolutely tailoring what you want to achieve. So also going with the theme of the subconscious patterns and how the mind works, we've got a motivation strategy. So underneath us, again on a below conscious level, we've got these motivation drivers. We've got something called towards and away from. We've got away from. So this is somebody who's motivated by avoiding problems, troubleshooting. And we've got towards. So this is somebody who's motivated by goals, what they're going to get, what they're going to gain. Now, what's the relevance of this? Below conscious motivation. All right. So a lot of the time when somebody is in a negative state, when they're in an identity that is not serving them, that is limiting them. And again, shame often comes up because of failures, because of not achieving what goals have been, what ideals have been. And the problem is then that people can get stuck in this motivated to avoid a sticky situation, motivated to not feel that way again, motivated not to show themselves up in that way. So people become stuck in an away from pattern. And again, this is all happening below conscious. So just by being aware of this, if any of you guys listening or watching this get a bit low at times, don't feel good enough, don't feel like they're worthy of or deserve things, just think about the times when it really crops up, when you really have a bit of a struggle. Are the things that are triggering you to avoid the situation because you can see hurdles in the road, because you don't want to trip up? And this is such a natural pattern, okay? These are patterns that are in everybody. The key is to recognizing it. Now you've got a bit of awareness of what you might be doing, how you're doing something. Imagine if you were to flip it and go the other way. Imagine if you were to use the towards pattern. So because the shame can come about through failures and despondency, we often forget then what it was that we're wanting to achieve, what it is we're wanting to work towards. So what if you were to have a think about the way you want to be, how you want to be, the things that you want to do? And what this is doing then is putting in place in your mind what you want to achieve again. Because sometimes we just forget what we're working towards. And what if you were able to really consider what you might gain and what you might get and what you would achieve, what possibilities would come about? And it's just changing your chemistry, changing your focus, your mindset. So these are a few ways that you can consciously bring about change and start shifting and moving things. And one of the biggest keys when I'm working with somebody one-on-one is their non-verbal body language. And I mean, if you guys have a think about it for a minute, when you think about, if you know somebody who suffers with a bit of shame, low self-esteem, low self-worth, low confidence, don't think they're very lovable, get a sense of their body language. And often this is easier to see when somebody's really in a down phase or really stressed. Just get a sense of their body language. And often there's a lot of sighing, head down, heavy. Each movement, each part of the body conveys information. This non-verbal body language gives us massive clues. In a session with somebody, it gives me massive clues. We don't know what we don't know. And that might sound a bit crazy and a bit daft, but when you think about all this information that we're exposed to, these are 11 million pieces of information per second, but we're only consciously aware of 50 bits per second. All that other information is being deleted, it's being generalized, it's being distorted. We're not getting it. So you don't know what you don't know. Having somebody external look into the problem, look at you when you're communicating, watch you when you're communicating, and feed back to you what you're doing, what you're saying that you don't know that you're saying, can actually create a massive connection to information that you've not been exposed to. And this can sometimes be the key to your greatest changes, and changes quickly. And again, this comes in for me and what I love, because I am impatient. I don't want to hang around and feel cruddy for periods of time. I want to crack on and do things. So having somebody draw attention to what I'm not noticing sometimes is the biggest changer. Our beautiful minds can only cope with so much information. So what information do you want to let in? What do you want to be instead? What do you want to open yourselves up to? So work towards figuring out what it is that you want. Do you need to change your motivation direction? Could having a mantra, a new belief, a new I am serve you? Is that something that would really suit you? I am good enough. I am worthy. I do deserve it. Could having some hypnotherapy allow you a little bit of a cheat's way, a beautiful, relaxing way to get into your mind to allow you to upgrade in the way that you want to be? Or could having somebody tap into and share with you to allow you to learn and notice what it is you're not saying? So there are so many wonderful ways out there, guys. And if I can be of any service to anyone, just drop me a message. Feel free to watch the videos again. You may just pick up something a little bit different this time. And there are lots of hypnotherapy audios on my Open Mind coaching group. So feel free to check them out. They're just for you guys to enjoy and to use.